What's up, people? I'm Wale Ogunleye, head of sports and entertainment at UBS. But before that, I spent 11 years in the NFL tackling quarterbacks. Today, I have the privilege of helping hundreds of athletes and entertainers grow their businesses and investment portfolios. Welcome to Level Up, where we explore different financial literacy topics to equip you with the knowledge you need to be financially fit. Let's get started. On today's episode of Level Up, we're talking Taxes 101 and what you need to know going into tax season.
I first started learning about taxes probably when my parents were teaching me about being financially secure, and that was early on. We started learning about balancing checkbooks, and taxes came in the conversation probably 5th or 6th grade.
On the 7th episode of Level Up, Taxes 101, we're joined by Michael Norman to help us out.
James and Michael Norman is going to win this one with a couple of strides to spare.
Michael Norman is a professional sprinter who represented the USA in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and won gold in the 4x400 relay.
Michael, do you understand how much of your paycheck goes to taxes?
When you first go pro, you get a large sum of money, the most money you ever seen in your lifetime. And you're like, wow, look at all this money that I got, it's X amount of dollars or like 6 figures or something like that. And, you don't really realize how much of it goes to taxes until the first time you pay your taxes. In my case, I was shocked. It was just one of the craziest feelings in the world. It just felt like I got robbed. Like it literally felt like I got robbed.
As an adult, I can say I do understand where my taxes are going and what percentage I'm being taxed at. But as a rookie in NFL, I had no clue that I was paying city, state, federal, residential taxes. And because of that, I thought that my contract was gonna be all mine.
It's like I knew what taxes were growing up, but I didn't really get a true understanding of what taxes were until my first year pro, when I got my first paycheck and I had to pay taxes.
To dig a little deeper, let's hear from one of our advisors at UBS, Wendy Holmes.
Thank you, Wale, and thank you for having me on this episode of Level Up. My name is Wendy Holmes, and I'm a financial advisor at UBS. We're going to spend a few minutes talking about taxes. You may hear the terms gross pay and net pay come up when talking about your paycheck. Gross pay is your paycheck without taxes taken out, and net pay is what is left after taxes are taken. Where do your taxes go? A couple different places, actually. Federal income taxes. This tax goes towards the federal government and is used towards things like the military and interest on the national debt. State income taxes. These taxes are similar to federal income taxes, but on the state level. Keep in mind, not every state takes out a state income tax. Social Security and Medicare. These programs are in place to help with your income and insurance needs once you reach a certain age. You'll be required to give a percentage of your income, currently 6.2% for Social Security and 1.45% for Medicare, to help fund these programs. Insurance and retirement. If you're on your employer's insurance plan, this deduction may come out of your paycheck to cover your medical, dental, and life insurance premiums. If you sign up for a retirement savings plan, you select a percentage of your salary that you'd like taken out of each paycheck to go into a 401k or other retirement savings option.
Michael, how do you prepare for tax season?
My first year, the rule of thumb was just to save 50% of the money that I earned and just assume that would go straight towards taxes. My first year, I didn't have any like LLCs established or a company established under my name, so I was just paying personal taxes at an extremely high rate. So I just saved 50% of my money, like minimum 50% of my money, and just expected half of it to be gone when it was time to pay for taxes. And I didn't really have a plan that first year, but I kind of just had to bite the bullet that year. But as I progressed into my second, third, and fourth year as running a professional athlete, I established a C Corp, and then now it's an S Corp, and then I sit down with a tax planner, and we kind of talk about what I can do to minimize taxes and what I can do to kind of spend money to save money in a sense.
Okay, let's talk about different types of taxes. Taxes on income. Income taxes can be charged on the local, state, and federal levels. The amount you are taxed is based directly on how much you make. State income taxes vary considerably, with some states not having any income tax. Taxes on property. Property taxes are based on the value of real estate or other personal property. They are usually imposed by local governments and charged on a recurring basis. For example, homeowners will generally pay their real estate taxes either once a year or as a monthly fee as part of their mortgage payments. Taxes on goods and services. Often called a sales tax, this tax is commonly used as a method for states and local governments to raise money. The sales tax rates vary by the state and local government in which the purchase is made. There are many tax documents, but there are two big ones that come up often: W-2 and 1099. A W-2 wage and tax statement is issued if you're an employee at a company like UBS and receive a steady paycheck. Every employer who pays at least $600 in cash or cash equivalent, including taxable benefits to an employee, must issue a Form W-2. If any taxes are withheld, including those for Social Security or Medicare, a Form W-2 must be issued regardless of how much was paid out to an employee. A 1099 is the document you will receive if you are a contract worker. A 1099 is important since it's used to record non-employment income earned by a taxpayer, whether it's cash dividends paid for owning a stock or interest income earned from a bank account. A 1099 may be issued. 1099s are important since they keep track of income that isn't recorded in a person's wages or salary.
My favorite part of the show. Let's head to the street for the question of the day.
Wale, why do you think taxes are important?
The taxes collected by governments foster economic growth and development. They pay for essential goods and services such as infrastructure, healthcare, and education, all in order to achieve the common goal of prosperous, functional, and orderly society. On this episode of Level Up, we talk Taxes 101 and why they're so essential to the American economy and to us as individuals. I hope any student athlete that's getting an NIL deal realizes that they need to put a small part aside to make sure they pay their tax liabilities. Having that planning will keep you out of trouble. Thank you for joining us. Level Up. We'll see you next time.